We are on the third chapter.
Or do you want me to do
I'm only going to be here for.
And today, I need to go to Trabuco Monastery.
that? Oh,
And since I hadn't informed you beforehand uh, that there won't be any class, so we'll take it for a half an hour class.
What is that, when our email?
It only took me
Yeah,
40
we'll do that. We will do that. Chapter 3, the first verse. We are on page 123. The one non-dual being, the possessor of the net, which is Maya, rules through his divine powers, rules over all the worlds through his powers of rulership, who is verily alone when in association with the divine powers and when manifested. Those who know this become immortal. Yeah, it's a little. So, eko jalavan ishata ishani bihi. So, sarvan lokan ishata ishani bihi. Ya evaika udbhave sambhave cha. Ya etad viduramritaste bhavanti. So, we have this first mantra that is now what happens in we see in the first chapter we have God as the cause of this universe, and then we have subsequently what is shown is as the effects of that divinity which is this universe, and how we get befuddled because of this staggering diversity. But the sage has shown that diversity has categories. It's just that we are transfixed with certain things and we get confused. So he had given us those 50 categories, the various powers of God. And then he showed us, the sage Svetasvatara showed us, the process of yoga. How do we get to know that reality? And we have seen these processes, how the sage also, to make himself more authentic, make his experiences more authentic, he harmonized those with the extremely old mantras found in the Vedas, trying to show that this is a kind of an old tradition. There's nothing new. We come now and it's like we have practiced yoga. And what do we experience then? These are the experiences in this chapter. And the experience is what? This these experiences are nothing but forms of liberation. If you have such a cosmic experience, obviously you are liberated. So the last line in this verse is important because those who know this become immortal. That's important. 123 page. Those who know this become immortal. What do we know? We are mortal because we are limited. Limited because our existence has become limited to this ego and what it likes or what it does not like. Simple as that. So once this crystallized existence of us is dissolved, what remains is this cosmic reality. And of course, there are various levels. It's not just you jump out of that individuality of yours and become universal in one go. It's a kind of a process, a step by step by step, because we are not yet ready for the highest reality to be experienced in this body at one go. So we need to get conditioned, rise up a little, and then get conditioned, rise up a little, become more pure, and as we keep on progressing, we'll come down to the last. If we are already ready for that due to previous practices, spiritual practices, in that case, what happens is we will be able to get that reality immediately. So then what happens? One becomes immortal. As simple as that. Now, what is the form of immortality? Immortality does not have a form. If it has a form, it's not immortality because you will always have name and form that will limit you. When you have a name and you have a form, try to think of yourself without name and form. It's almost impossible because the mind itself is designed, the intellect is designed to deal with something called name and form. This whole universe can be reduced to these two categories, name and form. Now, when you can transcend this name and form, you become immortal. That is, you don't have a location in space and in time. Your existence becomes all pervading. That's the idea. Now, right now, we are located here in this. This is my existence. That is your existence. It's very difficult for us to look at ourselves objectively. Almost impossible. Even when we keep a mirror, we will see that we think subjectively. So it's like Vivekananda says, it's like jumping out of your own body. Wow. And of course, to know the reality as it is, one will have to gradually do those yoga practices. And then, as the mind becomes more and more subtle, it will rise up to higher and higher planes, which the yoga uh, philosophy describes. And as it keeps on rising to higher and higher planes, we will have this experience of pervasiveness.
As that's happening, what is the experience of memory like?
Oh, yes. Yeah, that individual memories, what happens to them. Take, for example, you are working at home and then you leave your place and you go to visit a friend and then you engage with your friend. Oh, okay. Then you come back. Okay. While you engaged with your friend or you engaged on work, you tend to forget yourself. You forget, when you're really engaged, you forget everything else. And then after that engagement, after that work, of that attention, you come back, the memories again come back to you. In the case of a higher form of realization, you will rise up there because you are extremely concentrated. All the memories are as it were held down by that one form of concentrated chitta vritti, the form of the mind. Okay. So all the other vrittis are held down for the time being. As you keep on experiencing that, and when you come down back to those memories, you will find that that experience of reality has been so intense that the memories you thought which were real now appear kind of unreal, shadowy. You got my point?
I,
That's what actually happens.
I once interviewed a man who had a near-death experience, and he
Mm,
seemed a very credible witness,
mm.
very down to earth. And he said, and it had happened 8 years prior to my interviewing him. And he said, if you ask me about it, he said, it's not like, what did you have for lunch 8 days ago?
Yeah.
He said, no, he said, I remember it like it was a moment
Yes.
ago
Yeah.
because it was so real, so much more real than this reality. It made this life seem like a dream.
Yes. Exactly. This is what happens. That experience is extremely intense, and as that experience is sinks in, the other levels of your existence, you thought, oh, this was important, and that was important, and that was important. Then your own individuality becomes a little, you can say, detached from your old memories and is associated with this new experience. So it is life transforming, your character transforms, your perception about the world and reality transforms. So when you come, you will interact because that experience will not eradicate your memories. You will you will know who you are. Otherwise, if that experience would eradicate that memory, then it would be a kind of a paradoxical, you can say, existence. Then you will have to again recreate your relative identity. You don't ask, who am I? What's my name? No, who are my parents? And what do I work? No, there is a kind of a trace, a memory trace. But those memories are now unable to hold you down. And in Vedanta, there is there is like Sri Ramakrishna gives the example of the burnt coil of rope. It's burnt, but yet that coil of rope retains that old form. But it can be, you can blow it off. You can just kick the ashes away. It does not bind, so the memories won't bind you. So actually, what a bondage is are nothing but memories. So once those memories, and that experience is so powerful, it will burn away these seeds of ignorance. What is called as dagda bija, the burnt seed state. Okay? So this is what. So what do you become then? You identify yourself in everything, not just your body. You identify yourself with everything. That's a tremendous, you can say, state. You don't say, did I have tea or did I have my breakfast today? You won't bother. You won't bother in the sense certain actions will be taken care of automatically. The example given in Vedanta is a guy goes once a week to the market to sell his wares, and he loads those wares in a bullock cart. In India, we have this, bullocks, you know, pulling the cart. So, so one day on his way back home, he sees some of his friends sitting and playing cards under the tree. Hey, wait! I'll join you. he gets off the cart, and the bullocks keep on walking because they know the route. They go, this guy gets off and he goes and plays cards there. Okay, the bullocks go where they are supposed to go. So your body will keep on doing things which it was used to. So there won't be any kind of aberration. Hey, suddenly she's got highest realization. See how she's behaving. But there will be a kind of a divinity in you. You won't be the same again. You'll be filled with tremendous love and compassion and unselfishness and all these things. So you divinize yourself. Okay, that's okay. Okay. So the non-dual one, who being the possessor of this net, rules this universe through his powers. Now, this net, what is this net? Net is, there are two interpretations. One is that which binds everyone together. We are all caught in a net. Can't get out of this net. Sri Ramakrishna used to give an example of it. There are three types of souls. One are the ever free. You throw a net to catch fish. There's a fish that anticipate this net. They flee. They are never caught. The other ones are the struggling ones. The net falls, they're caught, but they struggle so terribly, they escape. And the fishermen say, hey, that's a big one. That's escaped. The third type, the bound souls, they go down and think everything, we are safe. We are safe in numbers. And they'll go and try to camouflage themselves, even in the mud or something like that. But they are caught and they're hauled, they're finished. That is one. Second is the interpretation is everything is connected. It's a huge connection. So the analogy is given as a kind of a net. You are connected to me. We are connected to the trees, birds, plants. Everything in this universe is connected. There is no real, you can say, disconnection anywhere. It may be due to a huge distance that you feel you're not connected. I'm not connected to the sun. Yes, but the particles of those sun come and enter into you. So there you are. You are connected. We are living in an ocean of matter that's constantly churning. So here we are connected, and we are connected to all beings in this universe. In this universe, the seen and the unseen also. Now, yes, okay, we need telescopes and we need microscopes to see certain things. But there are other realms, which are the spiritual realms, which are not seen with either the telescope or the microscope. So even there we are connected. And that's the reason why in the old days, you see this worship that we do is you are offering to the Lord what actually belongs to Him. Nothing is there. So we offer fire and water and earth and wind and space. So what happens is it makes us feel cosmic. That's the idea. Worship should bring in the idea of the cosmos within us. As we keep on worshipping, we grow, we identify ourselves with the cosmos. That's the idea of this net. Now, this net, yes, if you know, if there's a net, and here the sage talks about the possessor of the net, you go to that possessor. Okay, You've caught me now. I want to be one with you. And saying, you are one with me. You feel you are separate. Now, when we say the possessor of the net and the net, now two things arises in our mind. One is the person, or the deity, and one is the net. But it's like this. The other Upanishads talk about like a spider that throws the web out of itself and withdraws that web. Similarly, this deity throws out this net from within self. There are no two things. So where is the spider and where is the net? Is the net the same as the spider? Yes. So this net that we are trapped in, if we can understand that it is a part of that deity, he is not actually trapped us. He is making us feel that we are part of that whole, the cosmos. I always give the example of there's a story in the mythology that there's a net in the heaven of Indra. Indra is a king of the gods, and there's a huge net where the knot is supposed to be. There's a small jewel or a gem, and if you see the net at the corner of each, you can say a knot is a gem. It's vast, stretching to infinity. How far does it stretch? We say to infinity. How do you know? Can you know that? Saying no, but if you look into the one gem, you can see the whole of that net in it. So there you are. The whole of the net is reflected in that one single gem. And there are scores and millions and billions and zillions. Each one of us is, as it were, a kind of a gem.
Does this have to do with holograms in a way?
Yeah, in a way, yes. This is a modern, yeah, this is the modern idea of hologram. Even today, physicists are talking about a hologram, the universal, like a kind of a hologram. You take one part of the hologram, you will find the whole of it. Yeah, thank you for bringing it. Wonderful. Mm, oh yes, that's the way. So within you is that infinity. It's not actually a kind of a bondage. We are connected. And once you get this experience, well, no, I'm not bound. We are connected. That's yeah.
But could you say that even the jiva who is studying Vedanta is the Maya of Brahman?
Everything is the Maya of Brahman. Yes, till you realize God or Brahman, you are with. But Sri Ramakrishna makes a distinction between uh, knowledge Maya and non-knowledge Maya. Yeah, Vidya Maya, Vidya. So my prayers, my worship, my meditation becomes a cause of my liberation. So it is a Maya, yes, but it will lead me to knowledge. So that is kind of a knowledge Maya. And that which leads me to even more and more and more bondages is non-knowledge Maya, avidya Maya. So there's a kind of a distinction. Yes, but technically, even your meditation, there was one Swami who had a dream. I think I told you this before. He had a dream. Said that, you know, I was dreaming one day that another Swami comes and starts beating me with a stick. So I say, why are you beating me? No, I want to put you into samadhi. But you don't have to beat me to put me in samadhi. And why should I go into samadhi? Samadhi is in me. Why should I go? I am so huge. Not only samadhi, the whole universe is within me. There, that is your cosmic dimension. This whole universe is within you. Why should I go into something? Yeah. So that's that you see in that gem, that whole of that net reflected. So why should I go into? That's extreme Vedanta we're talking about.
You've been studying yoga, Vashishtha.
Ah, no wonder that's an extreme. There are many Vedantins who say that you know, Yoga Vasishta is a kind of clever a dream within a dream, a story within a story, an experience within an experience, and it leaves you somewhere. What am I doing? So that's the reason why some Vedantins say this path is a clearly defined path. It's a kind of a sequence. It's not something within something, within something, within something. This becomes a kind of esoteric, you can say, explanation. Oh, is it? So it's just take the straight path. uh, And
But even the Swamijis that are realized still practice puja and everything. So that tells us something.
no, in fact, there is, of course, there is, when the gospel writer of the gospel, he went and asked Sri Ramakrishna, "Oh, it's evening. I think it's time for you to meditate." Oh no, 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 nothing like that. He was distracted. And there was another Hazra who said, saying what he doesn't do any kind of spiritual practices, and see how much I do. He kept on counting his beads out there. So Sri Ramakrishna takes his rosary in the left hand and just turns it a little, and he gets into such a deep samadhi. It was difficult. Yes, during that time. There is also uh, one soul like this, a liberated soul was asked. He was Shankaracharya of Sringeri. Yeah, why are you doing all this worship, this puja, and all these things? So you smiled. So that's what you are seeing. And besides, I was doing all this thing before. So keep on doing it. Does it bother you? So no, you're a Vedantin. In the extreme form of realization, when you're completely absorbed, you become something like that Trilinga Swami that Sri Ramakrishna met. He was oblivious to that burning sand he was lying down, to that burning heat in Banaras. And he just simply lay there, always absorbed in that reality. For him, you ask, how come you're not doing meditation? He will start laughing at you. Oh, what's that? But Sri Ramakrishna, he was a teacher of humanity. He has to do those things even after realization. Oh, yes. Otherwise, they will say, see this guy, he does whatever he wants to. It's not like that. So the one who is going to be a teacher of this age, of this humanity, will go through the motions so that future generations of seekers will become inspired and toe the line, as they say.
Do you think that's why Shankaracharya sang those dualistic hymns?
No, no.
No.
For him, everything was real. The supreme God. Then you had these deities also. See, here we have this idea that he had come for all grades of aspirants. If he if he thought only one grade of aspirant, the superior ones. What about the other ones? So he formulated the rules for puja. He composed all these hymns, these hymns. So you gradually go through those things, and Sri Ramakrishna says we travel from dualism, then we go to qualified non-dualism, and then we attain to the extreme, the way the non-dualism. It's always a kind of a gradual process, the step by step by step.
What's the definition of qualified?
Vishishta Advaita. Yeah. So we simply, there are many people who say, "Oh, I am not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not the senses, I'm not." Yeah, but then if a small ant bites you, hey, what's that?
Is that drishti?
Hmm?
Is that drishti?
No, it's not Vishishta. They have not risen to that level where they can say, I'm not the body, I'm not the mind. Uh, Shankaracharya Nirvana Ashtakam, Mano Buddhi Ankara Tanina. So he keeps on negating everything. And then at the very end, he again becomes positive and says, I am in everything. Ham nirvikalpo nirakara rupo. So all these things. I am in this universe, he says again.
Shankara.
Yeah, in one of his hymns. Of
And
course,
it's like what Hanumanji said.
yes, Hanuman says that when I am conscious of my body, I am the servant of Ram. When I'm conscious of myself as an individual soul, I am a part and you are the whole. But when I'm conscious of myself as the Atman, I am you and you are me. There is no difference. That's it. Deha buddhyat dasoham. So this is how gradually. Okay. So we'll finish this. And like I said, I need to rush. So this is the possessor of the net is not different from the net. The net is Maya, of course. What happens is, in a way, yes, it is difficult to cut through. But then, like the Bhagavad Gita says, this net, this Maya of mine is difficult to cross over. But those who seek refuge in me will easily cross this bondage. Daivi hai shagunamai. So this Maya of mine is divine. It's not material. Because God himself is divine, and so the net also is partakes of his nature. His or her, yes, of course. So he rules. How does he rule? Yes, it's like everything is tied like in a net. You are in this position. Don't move from here to there. Okay. You do your duties there, and then you can transcend all those duties. So he rules through the power of as you sow, so shall you reap. You do something and it comes back to you. Suppose you've done something here and then you go to say, New York. Okay. Do you think that what you have done will not leave you?
Mm.
Oh, she's in California, so I'll go somewhere else. No, that thing will follow you there. Hey, there. Really? My God, I thought I had escaped this stupid thing. We can't. That's the reason why we say that it is the form of, you can say, providence that keeps you. What you do, you will get every action as an opposite and equal reaction. Besides, he has created, he has preserved, and he has now reabsorbed you. We'll stop here for now.
And in sowing